Good Monday morning, and welcome to Ice Age TV. The internal combustion engine age YouTube channel talks about all my cars and trucks and motorcycles, the kid, popcorn, Florida, life, the challenges, the good life, the birthdays, getting older. Hey, good Monday morning there. Hope everybody's doing great, and as always, I really do appreciate all the support that I get on my channel. Beyond believable of the amount of support I get on my channel. I mean, I really am. I'm just blessed. So thank you, everybody that's so nice to me on my channel. I can't emphasize enough. I've never, ever my whole life have had so many people reach out to me and wish me a happy birthday. So I talked about it yesterday, but once again, thank you so much. And the birthday wishes are still coming in. So thank you so much. And here I am in Florida. And in so many ways, I'm surprised you're not seeing me with a truck and trailer. And there's the noise. I'm surprised you don't see me with a truck and trailer and me saying, hey, I'm heading up north. And golly, I just don't want to leave. I just don't want to leave. It's just so nice down here. We're having so much fun. And I'm just really feel privileged to be able to spend the time with my mother, who's progressing in life, and we're here to help her. And in so many ways, she seems to be getting better. But as you progress, you have your good days, your bad days. So some days are great, some days aren't so great. But anyways, hopefully that is, I've just been blessed to be able to be down here for over 2 weeks now. And can I keep it going? I don't know. That's very challenging. It's going to be a day-by-day situation now because of things that are happening up north. Golly, you know, just being down here with this really beautiful weather, it's just hard to, want to leave, to go back up north. But the other thing is, if you really watch my channel, I'm not doing the coughing. I don't have this coughing. I don't have these weird bumps on my body. I mean, sadly, I've come to realize through others supporting my channel and reaching out that I have a major allergic reaction to my own dogs. Yeah, I have the dog dander problem. So it's so much like, oh man, I got to go back up north and I'm going to be exposed all back to that stuff. It's going to be a project to figure out how to get that resolved, to manage my dogs and manage my lifestyle. So it's kind of a total bummer. But anyways, let's try to keep it on the upbeat. All my channels to share my fun, excitement. And I tell you what, it's never easy, as I say all the time, of trying to figure out what do we talk about. I mean, what do we talk about? Being me the motorhead that I am, I can just talk about my F450 all day or my motorcycles all day. Yeah, in some ways, but not really. So what do we talk about? And I thought this Nvidia, the Nvidia, the talk of town company, I guess we can kind of continue to talk about that, because last week it was a lot about the computers and the telephones and the videos, the internet, and that's everything that is so everything that we're all about in this life that we live at this point of this mankind being on this physical world. And it just seems like this Nvidia is just getting an incredible amount of attention, and it's doing so many great things, but in so many ways, is it? Because it's advancing the artificial intelligence like never seen. So part of me said we should have the conversation today of spies. And I was thought to myself, why don't we talk about the spies? And I think so many people here that my age group know the movie The Spy Who Loved Me. And that was with Roger Moore, the James Bond 007, really cool actor. That movie was made in 1977 about some mega guy wanting to take over the world and create an underwater world. And Roger Moore was in love with one of the Russian spies. I guess that's what if I go back to all that. So anybody at my age probably remembers that movie. Those are really good movies. And Jaws, that big ass guy that had the gold teeth or the big metal in his mouth. Was that guy so cool or what? Those are some great movies. Just to kind of get my brother off the Fox News watching in the evening, I've been trying to change around the schedule in the house here, because he comes over and hangs out with us. And we watched Dead Reckoning with Tom Cruise, the Mission Impossible, and it was okay. I didn't really think that movie was that great personally. I mean, a lot of the stunts and stuff to me, yeah, jumping off the cliff. I know. I've heard the story of how many times Tom Cruise practiced that. But for me, the Dead Reckoning, it just wasn't that really great. In some ways, it was boring to me, believe it or not. But I think about Top Gun, the remake of Top Gun. Now, Tom Cruise, that was a very, in my eyes, emotional movie. That was a great movie. I really loved that movie. My wife and I, and my daughter, and my mother-in-law down in Tennessee, I took them to that movie. Well, my wife and I went and saw that, while my daughter and mother-in-law went and saw the Elvis movie. But for my wife and I, that was just a really great Tom Cruise movie. But the Dead Reckoning, I just don't think it was that great personally. A little too much, really. So anyways, back to the Spies. I thought to myself that could be a conversation because it's artificial intelligence. Because everything is around us. And I just think it's interesting how we all have this thought process because the media machine and others about how the Chinese are spying on us or the Russians. But it's more about the Chinese, I think, more so. It'd be more of the current times. And I think, has anybody really stopped to think themselves? And I am so sure anybody watching my channel this morning is going to be like, no duh. I mean, we're being spied on by our own devices. Everything around us is a spy more than ever in our lifetime. Every single thing. I mean, for me, I have the Blink cameras on my parents' house. People have the Ring Bell. I have the Lorix video system in my place, and the Arlo video surveillance system. I can right now remotely look at everything going on in my house, wherever I am. And then we know from the self-driving cars and trucks, the Blue Cruise, the Highway Cruise, the FSD from Tesla, all these vehicles have all the technology in them to be looking at you as you let the car self-drive itself. And then the car itself is driving down the road and going to wherever you told it to go. So everything more than ever in our life, we're being spied on. Your ping that comes off your cell phone that is alerting the cellular system to where you are because you have on the Apple, like on my Apple phone, we have the whole all the families on my phone, so I can see where anybody is at any given time as long as we're within a decent area of cell reception or whatever you want to call it. So it's just beyond believable of where we are, where we're spying we truly are spying on ourselves, but in so many ways the others are spying on us more than ever. But yet it's incredible how a guy like Elon Musk, that I've talked about a gazillion times on my videos, is the number one guy creating the most controlled future world that we never ever have been part of. And now with this Nvidia and what I talked about so many times on my channel is a generative pre-trained transfer, Chat GPT, OpenAI, Grok, the list goes on and on and on, how this Nvidia company has created this GPU, which is a graphic processing unit, versus a CPU is a central processing unit. How their technology that they gained from making gaming machines such as the Xbox and PlayStation 3, they have literally exploded in market value and market dominance because of their advanced technology over so many other semiconductor manufacturers. And so now artificial intelligence is one of the driving forces of the stock market in our own country. It's creating all these tech stocks to be at the highest level ever, and it's making a very healthy stock market and enriching so many. Man, I tell you what, I only wish I had the brains so many years ago to take all the money I spent on cars and trucks and invest it into the right stocks. Would I be worth millions? I would. But I just never had anybody around me to really share that knowledge or to really push the button for me to think about that. And if I would have had the right person in my life that was the tech, or I should say more of the stock guy, that really was like, hey man, look, just start putting this amount of money in the stock market and pick this stock. And I mean, oh my gosh, it'd be just a whole different story of my life. Instead, what's my story? You're watching a YouTube channel of a guy that spends all his money on all these freaking toys and cars and trucks and motorcycles that have no real great value at the end of the day. Every one of them takes a beating. And that's something that my good sales guy, I talked about this a little bit the other day, and I'll just say it because I don't think people watch my video every day and they get bits and pieces, but it's just sometimes redundant. But it's information that apparently, the the big car market really is really getting to be in really worse shape. And even for me, I think, it's just a constant rhetoric. But where is it? Where is the reality? Or you're seeing so many car dealerships. Well, I mean, it's out there. It's talked about. But my good friend that works at the Dodge dealership up north, he's telling me that it's real. It's real because so many people are so upside down in these cars that they paid premium prices for. And now the whole market has changed. And there's a flood of new vehicles in the market. And so the used car market is going back to the old days where you take a true beating. So his claim is he thinks by April, the real deal is going to really start to show in this country of how bad the car market is. Now, if you watch my channel and you saw my daughter and I rode up to the Crystal Harley yesterday, which was never even planned. So yesterday morning, if you're watching my channel, you'll see that I had a plan to go to church on the motorcycles. So yesterday morning, the daughter and I followed my dad. My dad left a few minutes before we did. And I jumped on the Fast Johnny. The daughter jumped on the Lowrider ST. And we were planning to go to church. And so as we're heading to church, the road is closed down, not even a mile from where this house is, on the main road, Tampa Road. And immediately for me, I'm like, oh my gosh, I can only hope and pray this is nothing that involves my father. My father is going to be 92 years old in March. And yes, I mean, he has restricted license, meaning he can't drive at nighttime. So he has only daytime driving capabilities. That's how his vision has declined over many years. By the time you hit 92, if you're seeing pretty well, you've done pretty good. If you're still driving a car, you've done really well. So for my father, so what I did is there was a police officer who was blocking the intersection, and I gave him hand gestures as I pulled up to him as he's sitting in his car, because I know if I'm a police officer in today's environment, you don't know what somebody's going to do. And it's interesting because I pulled up on my motorcycle, and you could see me in my full face. My helmet gives you capability to see who I am because it's an open face with a shield on it. And as I'm rolling up, I'm kind of looking at the car as I stop, and I can barely even tell if an officer's in that vehicle because the windows are so dark. And is he up the way helping the accident? So after, a little bit of maybe a 20, 30-second delay, he lets down the window, and I ask him what's going on. I was trying to see if my father was maybe involved in that accident, but he claimed the accident had been at least, a little while. It wasn't like it just happened 2 minutes ago. So, and then he disclosed that it was a motorcycle accident. And I was like, wow. So you can only imagine, I'd have to imagine that somebody died because the whole road was shut down for a long time. So now we're being diverted to go to church, but I already know it's going to be through all these back streets to get to church, and every brother's being diverted there. I'm thinking, there's no way we're going to make it to service on time. So now I pull over in Panera's parking lot, and I call my father, and sure enough, he's stuck dead end. He's stuck in traffic. Well, keep in mind, this is no embellishment. He left the house at 10 of 10. He didn't get back home until like 11:20. So that's how bad it was. So the daughter and I made the decision, forget this. And I said, you know what? We're going to go ride, and we'll go see my brother down at the boat. This is one of these days where you're just like, geez, what the heck's going on? So my brother is apparently gunning down to the boat because if you're watching my video over the weekend, the boating adventures, the boat, like any boat, has issues. And something's going on with the batteries. So anyways, I'm now texting my brother and having to pull over and look what's going on. Well, he's not down at the boat, but my mother said he was down at the boat. So now it's getting complicated. Now I'm like, you know what? Let's just start riding. So if you watched the video yesterday, how does this tie into the Spies Among Us? It doesn't. I'm just sharing with you yesterday's adventures that are now maybe today's adventures, which I don't know. And I just like to share my what goes on. Because you see videos, you see a lot of stuff, but I don't think you always get the real details of what's going on. So, and more, because you only make a video where people watch stuff, and it's hard to get all the content without just being hours and hours and hours of content video, which people just turn it off. I think people's attention span's 10 minutes, maybe 20 minutes, and that's my challenge. My channel, I've always had pretty long videos. I think that in some ways turns people off because it's a lot of information, a lot of yabba dabba doing, and people just don't want to hear it, and they turn it off. So anyways, the company, we'll go back to the Harley stories here in a second, so I just kind of keep the concept. So Nvidia, they're the artificial intelligence master of the semiconductor chips. And in so many ways, I just think, wow, we are now at the generative pre-trained transform where people are talking to computers. People are using computers to create content, create so many things that a computer now can do, human tasks, and even better than humans. But we're feeding all this information for it to be a spy upon us like never ever seen. And that's why I talk about Elon Musk, that he's the guy that put the spy cameras in your Tesla car from day one. Elon Musk is the guy wanting to build a billion, 40 billion Optimus robots for the world that can spy on you. Elon Musk has bought Twitter, which is, or in so many ways, is a spy. It's a spy operation. It's capturing everything you say. And many people know that if you're a high-ranking official in a business, government position, you're very foolish to get yourself exposed to the Facebook, to the X, all these social media, because if you get caught up in making some statements, it's there for life. You're branded. And so I can guarantee there's people watch my channel like, you know what? There's no way I really want to interact with these forums because of what you're talking about. Because you can get in an argument with somebody in these forums about stupid ass stuff, and then you state opinion that maybe kind of makes you look a little different than who people think you are, and you're labeled. And even you go apply for a job, your social score, we're spied on. More than ever, people are clamoring to be spied on. I mean, and that's one thing that I was telling the guy at the Harley dealer yesterday is I hate, you hear my word, I hate the new infotainment center on that Harley Davidson bike. I don't like it. It's a joke. Even the GM of the Harley dealership over there, even for him, I had to show him on how the previous generation motorcycle technology versus the new technology, and sure enough, I'm sure he, in general, knows what I'm talking about, but even for him, it's like, it's a joke. I'm right now more on the page. I would buy the older version Harley now than the newer one. And somebody would be like, why would you do that? I don't like the technology. I don't like it. I just don't like it. And the old school, becoming old school in so many ways. I've talked about it so many times. Why do I love that Camaro Z28 I just bought? The technology in it is slim to nothing. It just isn't, all this stuff here about drives you nuts. Even for me, sure, I do like the adaptive cruise control. Yeah, I sure like the Blue Cruise, but you're constantly fighting that technology. Oh, it just drives you crazy. So now for Nvidia, the companies are like super chip conductors. What do you think's going on? There's companies out there that are building artificial intelligence platforms. They need this GPU technology from Nvidia. And they need it more than ever. So for the Nvidia, these guys are having a heyday like never ever seen of building spies. In so many words, Nvidia is going to be the key company that propelled artificial intelligence to a level never ever seen in mankind. That is basically the spies who loved you, there are spies who hated you, or the spies that despise you. Whatever a spy is usually. You know what a spy is. I don't think I have to explain to anybody here on my channel what a spy is. But that's what we're creating more than ever. And people are jumping up and down about it. I mean, it's just that people just want this stuff like never seen. Apparently, Nvidia, that was founded in 1993. I talked about that by 3 computer scientist guys from other corporations. But today, they have 30,000 employees out of California. And the average pay there for half the people is $228,000 a year. Starting pay for the right position is like $122,000, and the highest starting position pay there, whatever your credentials are, is $440,000. So the compensation there is insane. The people clamoring to have a job as a techie, a computer guy, woman, whatever it may be, is at an all-time high of people applying for jobs at that company. It's the hottest technology company in California right now. That's in, I would have to say, in general, the whole country. So there's just articles that I read about this morning on how some young people went and applied for the job just here like 2 years ago, and they were offered a position, and they had a $150 stock option, and they turned it down. And like one guy's like, "Yeah, am I disappointed? You better believe I'm disappointed. Do I feel like I made a mistake? Yeah, can you even imagine if you were offered a job at Nvidia and they gave you a $150 stock option? I mean, I don't know how many they give you, but at the same time, I mean, come on, $150. The stock right now is just under $800 a share. So, will Nvidia be known one day when we look back at all the progress of mankind, that they were the biggest supporter of creating the computers that run the robots, that run all the artificial intelligence? Will they be looked at of the self-driving capabilities of the autonomous vehicles more than ever? I mean, you can go through the list of all the stuff that this company's chips that they manufacture are going to rewrite the way mankind operates like never ever seen ever. I mean, it's an advance, and it's going to continue to grow on how so many things are going to become archaic in a computing field from this artificial intelligence. So what's really interesting for me, I have talked about this in great length when all this ChatGPT came out, and I talked about it. People really watch my channel. I would think they'd all say, "Yeah, this guy Iceman, he spent a lot of time, talking about this." Not that I'm the astute individual that has more knowledge than you. I just was sharing information that I read and looking to you as well to think, wow, what do you think is going to happen? To the point that we're going to have the self-driving motorcycles, the self-balancing motorcycles. Come on. I mean, that's where all this stuff is going. But what's really intriguing, though, is this artificial intelligence, though, is kind of the green agenda's anti-green agenda. Meaning that this computing for these data centers, which I talk about that in my video, I even show you that up there in that DC area, the data center infrastructure has been built on that area. It's massive. It's massive. And so this artificial intelligence, this GPU-based computing, it takes far more energy than a CPU type of computer operating system does. Even to the point that basically a super intelligent computer that can design this artificial intelligence, it uses the power of 100 homes in 1 year. So the amount of draw of energy that is being required with this new technology is never been seen growing as fast as it is. So it's creating challenges for these data centers to be building out even bigger data centers and even more energy powerful centers, but even more so the carbon footprint impact that this is going to have on the country and worldwide, where it's creating a X percentage of their overall carbon footprint challenges. So there's an article now that I was reading that was talking about how Google is using the technology of surfing the electrical grid system of what parts of the world. It's crazy to think about a California company is living off of the Netherlands solar or wind, more like the solar energy grid to power their companies, basically, operating these servers and all this other stuff. But anyways, what I'm trying to explain to you is right now, it's kind of even for me to hard to digest that a company in California can surf the world through an electric grid system, and they can take Netherlands solar panel energy and get off the fossil fuel grid system and run their company. And then once Netherlands becomes dark, they can switch back to California's solar panel system and stay off the grid. And so it's basically managing your carbon footprint impact by taking advantage of the renewable energies and the green energies out there. And that's a growing trend that Google apparently has created, the software and this programs, that companies can take this and then search the world for renewable energies, and especially more so than ever for the this new artificial intelligence that's going to require all these data centers to even be bigger data centers and use even more energy. Blackstone has just invested $25 billion in these networks, in these data centers, and they're building them because they can lease them out to the companies that want to use these centers to build their infrastructure for all this artificial intelligence computing. So just wow, just incredible of what's going on around us. And these data centers are going to continue to grow by leaps and bounds. And the energy needed for artificial intelligence, like Dominion Energy, that's who I'm with over there in Virginia, they're talking about how many kilowatts of energy they used to provide versus what now with this new computing and the data center growth from 2020 to 2028. In some ways, it's just about as going to be double the amount of energy needed to run all these data centers as we transition away from, it really is just befuddling sometimes. You try to think about where we are, the green agenda, people wanting to get rid of these gas cars and motorcycles, transition into the EVs, the green agendas, but yet then on the computing side, so many people are going to be using this artificial intelligence for to create their own metaverse. I mean, it's crazy what we're going to witness. The people are going to go in their houses. I think people aren't even going to come out. I think it's going to get bad. I think people are going to put these goggles on, and they're going to be living in this universe that is so radically weird. I mean, it's going to be the good stuff, the bad stuff. I think it's just, oh my gosh. What's interesting is the other day I was out in the dock, and I met Pat. I don't know if Pat's watching my channel or not. Very informative, very knowledgeable man that I met. We were talking about where the internet came from, and it was funny because he said pornography. I'm like, well, yeah, I mean, right. I don't disagree. I know from back in the early 90s, I even told my wife, it's like, if I had no morals, I know one way I could probably make a lot of money. And that is you get into the internet pornography business, because it's massive. It's $1 billion industry. But I thought it was funny that I said, where did the internet really kind of come from and get established? And his first word out of his mouth was porn. Yeah, right. It's huge. It's massive. Nothing new to mankind. It's been around since civilization. But the whole point of that is you can only imagine with this create your own world where it's all going, where people are going to be creating their girlfriends or their boyfriends, and then you're going to be able to create lifelike people. I mean, it's just going to be, once again, I think the streets are going to even get emptier. I mean, I really think that these people are just going to be living in their house. And so keep in mind, for the artificial intelligence, for the data centers, the computing companies, they love this stuff because they're making so much money off of you, where now you're living in their world as they spy on you. Be unbelievable. Yeah, you'll be hearing stories of people being hauled off to jail because they create these incredibly just gothic and just, it's going to be the violence. I mean, sadly, these are people that create the violence. I mean, it's always blown me away of these gaming stations that all these younger people play of just killing and murdering people with these military games. And I never even played one. I never even looked at one per se. I just see them advertised on all these different internet, and like you're on X or if you're on Facebook or whatever it may be. But I just think to myself, it's like, don't you think that this isn't eventually going to just create this individual to want to go do this in real time? I mean, wow. Is anybody surprised of what we're witnessing? Here's something that's interesting. Yesterday I was at the Harley dealer. And Miguel, I really like Miguel. If you watch the gentleman there at that Harley dealer, he's a great guy. He's such a cool guy. I really like him. And Miguel goes to me. I was down there. I said, man, I sure wish I would have picked up a Fast Johnny ST. And he's like, well, they have a Fast Johnny ST. I said, well, I know. I have a Fast Johnny Road Glide. But anyways, whole point of that is, he goes, well, they have a brand new 2024 Fast Johnny ST. I was like, what? I'm like, I don't know about that. So he goes over his computer and he pulls up my motorcycle. And I'm like, right, I have one of those. But I said, I didn't realize that Harley Davidson was advertising this the same way as they advertise this. So my understanding is this is the Fast Johnny 2023 CVO or Road Glide. It is a CVO in so many ways, or the Street Glide, and I've had both now. But I never knew that the CVO ST was the Fast Johnny 2024 edition. I mean, don't get me wrong. I can understand that. It has the picture of the Fast Johnny, but I've never seen it referenced that way. So I kind of looked at Miguel, and I was kind of like, I don't know. I mean, I've only seen this motorcycle referenced as a CVO ST. Somebody on my channel that wants to say, well, yes, it's a Fast Johnny, but I never have seen it, Harley Davidson phrase it that way like they do this motorcycle. So that's kind of me kind of like, interesting on that. I'm not so sure I understand that all there, but who knows? Anyways, so, but also Miguel's such a smart guy. So if you're watching the channel, you're probably waiting for, well, hey man, what about your daughter getting that Street Glide ST? Sure, likes that bike. And Miguel was so smart. I never even knew this. If you're watching my channel from yesterday, he had a platform. He had a 1/2 inch and a 1 inch thick platform that you slide underneath a person's feet when they're on the motorcycle, and you can see what amount of lowering the motorcycle needs for that person to be flat-footed. Because for Miguel, he claims that down below, there's a block assembly. You can go down below in this shock. So you see the shock here, all the way down where it's connected on the back end swing arm. He claims you can buy a block that makes it so the shock in the rear can be moved 1 inch, and it then lowers the motorcycle down to make it so that you're flat-footed if you're not of the stature to feel comfortable on the motorcycle. And I was like, wow. So he did that yesterday, and that then reinforced or kind of gave my daughter a little bit more confidence that she could ride that Street Glide ST. I really like the way that bike looks. I really like the color. And so many people here would say, why wouldn't you just let her get the new 2024 Street Glide? She doesn't like it. She doesn't like the look, and she doesn't like the infotainment center. And I'm right there with her. I really don't like that ashtray. I'm sorry, but there it has a Street Glide. I'm not here to be mocking your bike. I have a 24 bike, so how can I be mocking your bike? But when it comes to Street Glide, I'm not excited. The Road Glide, I am. I think the Road Glide is a cool looking bike. Street Glide, I can't get excited about it. I just don't like that ashtray look in the front of that thing. And then I've just grown out of that. The Street Glides, Batwing, I've had so many. But Miguel's really smart, because I said, why wouldn't we look at the 2024 Road Glide? And he's like, well, because her arms will probably be a little longer. It's a little bigger. I'm like, right, I didn't really think about that. He's like, most women buy the Street Glides because the way the handlebars are positioned, it brings it a little closer to their body. And he's like, but I like the older version now. I'd rather buy the previous generation Harley right now with the 117. Now keep in mind, if that Street Glide was a 114 motor, no, I wouldn't be interested or excited about it. The 117 motor, I love the 117 motor. Right now I have 3 bikes, with 117s on them, and I have 1 bike with 121 motor. So for my daughter, she's actually very excited about the idea of getting that Street Glide ST. And Harley Davidson did approve her, but they capped her on the amount of money she could borrow. So that deal there, I would say that's going to be a challenging deal to get that done. But I don't know. He's going to work on it today with some other bankers and see what he can do. So, and for me, the challenge is if I get that bike, if that bike gets bought, that's 5 bikes. How am I getting that back? Yeah, it just gets very complicated. More like just go back up north and try to figure that out. Who knows? I don't know. I'd have to say that's a real long shot just because the financing doesn't make any sense of how much money would have to be pulled out of my pocket to make that deal go, which I'm not doing. That's not going to happen. But it's really cool that Miguel, the Harley Davidson sales guy there at Crystal, you'd really like him. He says he's the coolest guy. He's like 67 or 68 years old. He's just doing it to stay out of the house so he doesn't have to listen to the wife tell him what to do. That's what he told us. He's so funny. He's like, I'm here, and he has that, he has that nice voice from where he grew up, and you know he's got that. Doesn't have my voice. He has a really cool way in how he talks, and so he's like, "I'm here because if I'm at home, my wife's gonna tell me what to do, and I don't want to hear that. I don't want to be there. She's gonna be riding me on my ass all day. I've been married for 37 years. I don't want to do it. I want to be here. I want to, you know." So he's such a cool guy. He's a motorcycle head, and he worked his whole life and owned his own company, and he sold it. And now he's just having fun, working at the Harley dealer. He doesn't want to have all the headaches. So great guy. So anyway, so the ST, we'll see. And no, yeah, what the smart thing to do is trade this in for it. It would, but the problem is we bought this July of last year. We traded another bike for it, so there's negative numbers in it. So there's this is now worth X amount of dollars. So it's going to be pull out a ton of money out of my pocket. Like, no way, I'm not doing it. I'm good. And some people be like, why don't you take and just make this an inch lower? But I don't like the way the handlebars are. But this is my bike. I mean, good Lord, man. Does my kid have enough damn cars yet or not? Oh, here they come. Here come the two peas in the pod. And what are their morning antics today? Here he is. Looks like he's wearing the same exact outfit that he wore yesterday. Nobody ever mentions this looks like John Dalton. Now, this is probably a 5-minute adventure. So she's going to put her hand out to get my coffee. So I'm going to come over here and get my coffee. Thank you, baby. Thank you, baby.
Dad, I want the Harley.
Cool. There you go. So the day has begun. The day has begun. You hear? So maybe we get popcorn to buy it for her. That's dangerous. Hey, Dad, why don't you buy your granddaughter a Harley? Yeah, would I ever hear the end of that from my wife? Yeah, I would never hear the end of that. You did what? You had your father buy your daughter a motorcycle? That's the worst thing you could ever do. Oh my gosh, where's the joy? So what are they doing, huh? What are they doing? Here you go. Here he comes. Yeah, does it distract the morning conversations? Oh, so now the kid, this bike here needs an oil change. This thing now is supposed to have 1,200 miles on it. Need to get excited about that. How'd the adventure go?
Good.
How's popcorn doing? Oh, it's so funny. So David took the oil. I guess he's planning on changing the oil at the shop. Yeah, I had all the oil and everything I bought, and so my brother was wanting to change the oil on the bike. So I guess he took it. Hey, Dad, you all right?
I will be.
You will be? Yeah. Need help?
If I ever get out of this car, I will be.
Yeah, getting in this car is a hell of a chore, isn't it?
That's right.
What do you do to yourself just to get a cup of coffee?
Gotta go rest now.
How many years have you been driving to Starbucks now to get a coffee? 14 years probably?
Yeah, probably. We've lived here since '91.
Yeah, but I'm talking about
I know it.
when you were tired. I'm not talking about you used to drive to work. When you were retired, retired, you used to, like up when you used to be up there next to me, you used to drive to Starbucks every morning.
In Leesburg.
Yeah, but you used to leave like 7 o'clock, didn't you?
I had to. It took a half hour to get there.
I know. Yeah.
And now it's 5 minutes.
Right.
10 minutes.
Just think if Starbucks reimbursed you for every coffee you bought, how much money would you have?
I don't even want to think about it.
Well, hey, Dad, you know what they say? You pissed it all away. You actually pissed it all away.
That's the word of the day. Careful what you pray for.
You can say, yeah, I pissed it all away. All right.
And it's not golden either.
Well, here we go. Potty mouth Poppy. All right. Well, anyways, hey, everybody. I'm just going to have to wrap it up. I know it gets long. And so, but watch the videos from yesterday of us having a good time riding the bikes. You know what I did want to talk about, though, real quick. You see my new hat? I had to buy a hat. I never planned yesterday morning leaving to go do all that riding yesterday, as I was saying earlier. I was never planning to go to Crystal Harley. And if you watched my video yesterday, they had a great gathering. and tons of people there. The day before, they had 171 motorcyclists for some sheriff's office charity. And so Saturday they were slammed. Sunday they were busy as all get out. I mean, but you watch all these YouTuber guys talk about it, how all these dealerships are going broke, and I don't know. Anyways, whole point of that is place to go hang out with, and I wasn't even planning to go up there, but we ended up going up there. But in so many ways, I probably would have taken this. I probably would have taken the Fast Johnny. Probably would have taken the CVO ST up there to ride. That would have gotten a lot of attention. I think that would have been pretty cool. Plus, this thing is so much louder. So this here, I'm sorry, I'm at over 200 miles on this bike now, and this exhaust does not sound, but just to me, the Reinhardts, I would go with Reinhardts. I love the way my other Fast Johnny sounded with the Reinhardts. The Chromeworks, they sound good, but they don't sound anything close to the Reinhardts. And I know that's a 121 motor, but the whole point of that is such a fun bike. That is such a fast bike. That is such a torquey bike. So when I ride this and I kind of get into her, it's not, I'm like, where is it? Where is it? So this is so much fun. The 121, this setup, people ask me, it's interesting, some people really don't know my channel that well. I've had a few people reach out, you really ought to be doing a Challenger Elite comparison to I'm like, I've done all that. I've done that. One guy reached out like, you need to have a Challenger Elite and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, the Challenger Elite's a badass bike. No doubt. It's a badass bike. It's a great bike. In so many ways, if you do some stuff to it, is it just going to smoke this? And yeah, I guess. But it's a bigger platform bike. It's not as fun. This bike is more fun because it's just a all-out muscle bike. It's a smaller platform. It is. And I enjoy that on this bike. So Challenger Elite, I just think, great bike. Why would I have traded it in? Keep in mind, even I really had to come to closure. Will I give up my Challenger Elite for a Harley Davidson? Would I really do it? When so many years ago I told you, I'd be like, no way. No, the new product, I don't like the VVT. I do not like the VVT. I do not like the technology. But I love the 121. I love the ST. And this thing is so much fun. And that just slip-on exhaust is badass. I need to get that damn sticker off my damn side of my bike over there. All right. So anyways, that's it. I can talk a lot. Harley Davidson Street Glide ST play out today. If it did, how do we make that work? I mean, do I have them delivered to our house? But I mean, where's the fun factor? We get to ride it. So for me, yeah, how do we make that work? Yeah, what we have to do is, I wouldn't want my daughter. I mean, that's a whole other project. I'm gonna leave it at that. Do we ride? I don't have a 2-up bike besides the. That's so funny. The only 2-up bike I have is the Breakout, which I wouldn't be excited about driving that 200 miles. It's just too much. No way. But all my bikes, there's no 2-seat. So I could ride my daughter up with me on the one bike, and she could ride the Street Glide ST back. No, the only way this will work today is I'll have to ride one of my bikes. Then somebody would have to follow me, like my dad and daughter, or my brother and my daughter and dad would have to follow me in the one car. Then once he got there, then my daughter and I would ride back, on 2-up, a bike each, to make that a pretty cool day. But I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think the numbers are going to make any sense. So, but I don't know. Who knows? With me, with the Iceman. So there it is. Who's spying on you, right? Yeah, who's spying on us? You're being spied on all day long. There it is. So, hey, everybody. Have a great day. Once again, thanks for all the support. Share the channel. I appreciate all that. So, I hope everybody has a great, blessed Monday. Stay tuned for more conversations and adventures.